Joe. So Joe's going for Ireland. Tony Holgate is a very shy lad, isn't he? If he does win, we're certainly going to know all about it. I'm going to hand you over to our commentary team. It's a best of 15 match. This for a place in the final. Here's Jim White.
Yes, thanks, Mark. And if there's an edge, it's a very small one to Ireland, as Joe Fanto was mentioning. 11-10 to Ireland in the round-robin stages. And this, the second semi-final, and that's not the way that Scotland, in the form of James Feely, wanted to kick this semi-final off. Well, very happy to be joined by a former world singles champion and certainly one of the most informed players in the world. Probably wish you were out there, Chris Melling.
Yeah, unfortunately, Jim, I've given up the team this year playing for England to concentrate on my snooker career and the singles event here. Hopefully going to do well this year.
Well, Chris, you know, looking at these two teams, obviously very little to choose between them. And they know England's already through to the final.
30 seconds.
So I think important from a psychological perspective to try and keep your focus on this match, not think ahead.
Balls in play.
That's right, Jim. You've got to win your first match, concentrate on your own game, try and get yourself through to the final. Hopefully try and put a bit of pressure on England, put in a good performance, and we'll see what they can do.
And that's John Cullum at the table right now for Ireland. And also very interesting to note that Ireland, very little in the way of changes from their round-robin match in which they won 11-10 over Scotland. I noticed looking down the playing order that you see Tony Holgate nearest camera there. I'm very accustomed to seeing him sat beside me, niggling me in the commentary box. So you can see that Irish squad there. A lot of great players making up that team and a lot of experience. They've been to the finals before. They know what it takes to get there.
Yeah, the balls will split very nice there off the break. John Cullum nominating reds, trying to work his way around. Unfortunately, he's just run out of position there. He's going to have to cue over the yellow, which makes the shot that little bit more difficult.
And you can see the positioning of the balls. It's all about cue ball control.
30 seconds.
Obviously, a lot of work to do, and these early frames take on added significance, even more so in the team competition, because the pressure is intense and there's no let up. You don't get a chance to get acclimatized out there. You're playing one frame only to try and get your side off the mark. You look up pressure in the dictionary and you see a picture of the team competition here in the Embassy World Team Championships.
That's right, Jim. The whole country's on your shoulders and you want to perform, show everybody how good you are and how good you are under pressure.
30 seconds.
Just left himself the gap through the yellows for that red. And he's really done most of the hard work here, Chris. He's got a glorious chance. He can slot this red in, stay on the red, the opposite corner pocket. You'll hear us say it very many times. It's all about holding your nerve.
John Cullum looks very calm in this finish. Doesn't look to be doing anything in a rush, taking his time, gathering his thoughts.
30 seconds.
This is just a matter of personal preference. How he wants to attack that last red, which will be the one, the top of the table as we look.
That's white, John.
You can see that now he's left himself possibly a little too much angle here. Chris, it looks as though the cue ball isn't going to come off that cushion the way that he would have liked and be able to play it straight in off the side cushion.
That's right, he's just left a little bit too much angle there. On these new tables, they slide a lot and the cushions are very bouncy. I think he wanted to be a bit more straight than that so he could screw it between the black and the yellow.
Key shot here, really. He's got to land on that last red. No danger at all, and that is spot on. He can draw that cue ball right over the left-hand side. Looked like he had a little more angle than that when I first saw it, and didn't think he could get to this area, Chris, but that's perfect.
Yeah, I think he played the shot with a little bit of bottom right-hand side just to kill the white off the cushion, slow it down so it can hold for the red, and he's landed absolutely perfect. Just needs to screw back a foot for the black now to the right-hand corner.
What a solid performance this has been from John Cullum. One ball away from opening accounts here for Team Ireland. Right into the pocket, the 8 down. You can take nothing for granted. And one thing about this semi-final, you'll hear a lot of noise, a lot of raucous out there. Ireland versus Scotland, and Ireland off the mark, 1-0. Big win, that one, and John Cullum looked rock solid. That's the way you want to start off, lead by example. And that's obviously why they had him kicking things off the Irish side.
That's right, he's one of the better Irish players, been around for a long time, knows what it's all about, and he's just performed absolutely perfect there. Done nothing wrong, taken his finishes out, and that'll give the Irish a lot of confidence.
And never looked like missing. And now the captain, Robert Brady.
Ireland to break, leading
The
by
baton has been passed. He's up against Kevin McCallum from Scotland. And the Scottish lineup noticeably changed. There you can see Kevin. He's got to try and pull things back a little. And that's assuming he gets a chance from the sure-handed southpaw from Ireland. Yellow in the middle bag. The red, same pocket.
Red ball's potted.
This doesn't look too bad.
Great break there from Robert, controlled the white perfectly well, made a yellow in the left centre.
Yellow ball's in play.
You see a lot of these players on tour, Chris, and I mean, you're obviously a very accomplished player, but is there any that stand out in your mind as being bankers as far as both Ireland and Scotland are concerned?
Well, for me, this is one of the biggest games. Robert Brady's been out of the game for 2 years playing for Ireland. In my opinion, he's the best Irish player. And if he can win this frame, Ireland have got a 2-0 lead, giving his team all the confidence they need to go through to the final.
You'd like to have seen that go in because it really doesn't guard the pocket against any yellows. So early advantage to Ireland and Robert Brady.
I think Robert will have the advantage here simply because I've known Kevin a long time. Kevin's a potter. He clears the balls very fast, just gets down, knocks him in. But I think Robert's just trying to slow him down here a little bit.
And no prizes to guess which yellow is the most awkward on the table, the one glued to the black ball. That's got to be developed at some stage.
Left a perfect angle there on the yellow, just to kick into the black. Knock the yellow next to the black over the right-hand corner pocket. Give himself every chance to clear the balls.
Yes, he's wasting little time, Chris, and I like seeing a player think like this because you want to get at those awkward ones as early as possible. And how's that? Beautifully judged.
Couldn't have played this shot any better. Caught the black, full ball, knocking the yellow over the right-hand centre corner.
And still keeping that yellow over the pocket just in case a miss should creep in. So he's still got that insurance policy of guarding it against that red just to the left of the black as we look. Mind you, the way Robert Brady's going through these right now, I don't think he's looking for an insurance policy.
No, Robert's on a mission here. He only needs one chance and he's got that. And he's taking the bull by the horns here.
If he gets this, and he has, again, a picture-perfect performance from Team Ireland. They just don't look like doing anything wrong in the early stages of this semifinal. Well, he made sure he cleared the red there, didn't he? Slightly overhit. And this is a little more difficult than Robert Brady would have liked.
Yeah, he's just overrun the white ball there slightly. I think he was more concerned about snookering himself behind the red, making sure he's come high so he can cut the black in. I think you'll see Robert go for the cut and kiss the red in the centre of the table just to hold the white.
Very important to stay still.
Come on, Kevin.
Well, if nothing else, he's put the pressure right back on Kevin McCallum. 6 reds remain, and Kevin can afford no mistakes.
Well, this frame will be finished in less than a minute. Known Kevin quite a few years. He takes no time whatsoever, gets down, pots the balls.
That one loose positional shot from Robert Brady, proving so costly here. Just slightly overhit that one. Not going to be able to get as close to the other red as he would have liked. Just draw back into the center of the table. Great shot there. Wow, what a turn up this is. Scotland pounces back, grabs the 8 from the miss, and 1-1 the scoreline. And the Scottish supporters, reason to cheer here. That was a turnaround when it looked like Robert Brady was going to secure a 2-0 lead for Ireland. Back came Scotland when the miss crept in. Tony Holgate, former captain, joint second in the ranking list, so Tony has been playing some of the best pool of his life.
To break, leading by 2 frames to 1.
And he's up against Gary Brown from Scotland. But Tone will be breaking off, looking to continue on, and you just know that he's one that's counted on very heavily for Ireland. Former World Championship runner-up in the singles, a wealth of experience.
A lot of power in the break there, but unfortunately no friends. Didn't make a ball. Controlled the white, perfect. Very unfortunate there not to pot a ball.
Well, I know, Chris, in years gone by, when Tony and I have been commentating on your matches, he'd love to have borrowed your break-off. He's mentioned that on a few occasions. He considers you one of the best breakers in the world in this game.
Well, you've got to give yourself every chance when you break off. A lot of people say you should control the white. I prefer to just pop the ball, hit the ball as hard as I can, hopefully giving myself the best chance of potting balls.
Well, Gary Brown looking to try and pull Scotland back on level terms.
Just overhit that one slightly, but he's got away with it. Bounced off the top cush.
And Tony Holgate, I can tell you that when they played Scotland in the round-robin stages, won 2 of his 3 singles matches. But look at this. Cue ball disappears off the table. 2 visits to Holgate.
Well, that's a poor shot there from Gary. He shouldn't be going anywhere near the centre back there. He could have held the white in the centre of the table, give himself a shot at 2 reds. Unfortunately, he's tried to get 2 perfect. And I don't think we'll see Tony missing from here.
I also don't think you're going to see Tony wasting a lot of time. He's not one of the slowest players in the world either, Chris, is he?
No, he is one of the faster players. Doesn't take much time, just gets on with it.
Got that one awkward yellow right on the bottom cushion as we look. It is available, and he's just showing you now. he may be able to drop on it off this yellow. But that's the only real problem ball as they sit. And there you go. Nicely on it. He'd be knocking this in the corner pocket. And in an ideal world, just flick that yellow that he's landed next to a little bit more into the center of the table, just to give it a bigger pocket. Just like that. Beautiful shot from Holgate.
Great shot there, just bringing the other yellow into play, keeping his 2 shots. He snatched that one a little bit. I think Tony's a little bit nervous here. It's been a while since he's played on the box.
Just wants to be certain. He's still got that second visit in hand, remember. We poke fun at Tony a lot, but I can tell you, all jokes aside, this man can play. The long black. And that's where he wanted it, in or over the pocket. This is going to be a 3-1 lead for Ireland. Second visit for Holgate, secures the black, and with it, Ireland's 3rd point. The former captain lets you know how he feels about that effort.
I told you that Tony Holgate was a shy lad. He didn't like that much, did he? That was a big frame, wasn't it?
Yeah, and you can certainly see him firing him up after the win.
Brady, the captain, lost in the second frame. You were a little bit concerned what the Irish may do after that. You said to me that this frame for Holgate was so important for the Irish team.
I was a little bit concerned when I saw the captain go down in the manner that he did, that it may be a little bit difficult to pick up from there, or may put a bit of tension into the team. But
you're looking at Tony
well.
now, there's loads of nervous energy there. I mean, nervous giggles is why there is so much pressure on the players out there.
And that sort of stuff, it really rubs off on the players.
Absolutely. Now the Irish team 3-1 up. It's a race to 8. The 5th frame about to get underway. I'll hand you back to Jim and Chris Manning.
Well, pressure with a capital P, and that stands for pool. Center stage here in Blackpool. Nothing down for Scotland, so Ireland again with the chance to further that momentum.
Again, we see the soft break there. They're not putting much power into the breaks. That's why you're not putting any balls. You have to give yourself the best chance and hit the balls as hard as you possibly can. Here we see Gavin Cleary. Don't know too much about Gavin, but from what I've heard, he's a good player.
Red ball's in play.
Well, to make up any of these international squads, Chris, you have to have a pedigree. You don't just walk on and make a team like Ireland or Scotland.
That's right, there's a lot of qualifying goes in to get into these team events. You have to win about 10 matches to actually get in the team events, and every single player you play is a good player.
He's in a very strong position. You'll notice bottom left where that red is over the left-hand corner pocket, and it's guarding it to the yellow. And certainly that area favors Scotland heavily. And you know that Raymond is going to be very much in control of this frame regardless, even if a miss should creep in.
Gavin's just landed the wrong side of the red there. I think he wanted to be straight so he could get on the red to the right-hand side.
I'm sorry, I called him Raymond. I assumed he was the opposition, of course. That's Gavin Cleary from Ireland. My apologies. And there's the miss that I had a feeling at some stage may creep in, but again, he's got control of that bottom corner. Just cut the near knuckle, and Gavin Cleary down to his chair now to think about that one.
And that miss has crept in all because Gavin left himself the wrong angle. Left himself straight. It was quite a simple pot, but he's still in control of the frame. He's got the red over the bottom left-hand corner, and I can't see Raymond doing much from here.
30 seconds.
Now Raymond Mowat, apart from the break off, our first look at him, and at some stage, Raymond is going to have to try and get at that yellow bottom left.
He's actually giving himself a chance to knock the yellow away from the red here. Whether he decides to go for it is another thing. The yellow that's nearest to the white he could take in the top left-hand corner and bring the one that's tied up away. But he's playing a containing shot here, keeping the pressure on.
Yes, come on, Raymond.
Now, Chris, with the situation as it stands right now, is it in Raymond's best interest to be taking the yellows off the table, knowing that that yellow bottom left is going to be a problem ball, or should he be getting after that as early as possible?
That's right. The more balls he pots, the harder it's going to get to bring the yellow out. I prefer to get down and try and knock my hardest balls out first. That way you're giving yourself an easy clearance and there's nothing to do.
Now, as you get a chance here to try and squeeze this yellow past that red into the corner, possibly take it out, and either gain control of this pocket or open it up for the other yellow. Not a lot of room there.
I think if he does put it past the red, the other yellow will stay on the bottom cushion. So it's still not going to be as easy as he thinks it is.
And you can see as soon as he struck that, that was a ways away.
Jumped up very quick off the cue there. Now we see he's potted 3 balls there, Raymond, just to get the position to try and pot the yellow past the red. And now he's in trouble.
Yes, there's no way Gavin will be removing that red early. That's his lifeline for the moment.
Yes, Gavin. Yes, Gavin.
Good pot there. And the black looks to be available top right as we look. And that's the only pocket that's offered.
I think we could see Gavin drop the red in the centre bag and screw the red in the bottom right hand corner and try and develop the black, because the black is only available in one pocket. If he brings the black into play, he'll probably have a choice of 3 or 4.
These are anxious moments for Scotland. 3-1 down already. And to be fair, Chris, they're staring at a 4-1 deficit here.
That's right, there could have been 5-0 down here if Robert Brady hadn't have missed the black. They look to be running away with this match at the minute. They've calmed their nerves. I think they've settled into the match a lot quicker than Scotland.
Well, he tried to develop that black, as you suggested, and now he's going to know what we know, that that black is only available top right. So all he can do is drop this red in, and then he's going to have to make a difficult black into the top right corner.
Like I said a few moments ago, Jim, he's left his hardest ball till last.
How do you like to have to shoot these to win frames in the semifinals of the World Championships?
He's giving himself a chance though, Jim. At least he's going to have a shot at the black.
This is tough. You can't possibly fancy him to get this.
He's got to go 100% straight into the pot, not worry where the white goes. The white won't be going anywhere near a pocket.
30 seconds.
Seven frames, Scotland to break, trailing by 4 frames to 2.
Breaking off now. That's the captain of the Scottish side, Phil Craig.
Open table.
Nothing down, so Dermot Armstrong comes to the table for Ireland.
I don't know too much about Dermot. They've got quite a few new players in this year of the Irish team. Looks to strengthen the team though.
Well, they're through to the semifinals, so without change, there can be no improvement.
30 seconds.
That's right, there was 12 round robin matches leading up to this semi-final. Ireland have produced some great form to get through to the semis. Great shot there from Dermot, give himself every chance.
Yes, good looking first visit here from Dermot Armstrong. But the captain for Scotland, Phil Craig, in his chair watching right now, and he'll be waiting for a chance to get to the table. And as a captain, you just know that you've got to try and provide a captain's innings. Added pressure. Good shot there. As a matter of fact, a great shot. He's given himself every chance to clear up.
Well, that's the best shot of the match so far. There you see the black tied up, getting into his bad ball early, landing on his other bad ball, give himself every opportunity to win this frame from here.
He's looking at this red. It's not going to move on him, and he's got to take it. All other reds, the top half of the table, with the black. So once he gets this, lands on another red, dare I say it, the hard work will have been done.
But how often do we see people taking hard finishes out, and when they get the easy finishes, they seem to struggle?
He's sitting ideally right now. Got perfect angle on this red, and removing it, he can play onto his choice of reds, either top of the table as we look, or just dolly this in and play the one in the middle of the table. Really so many options here, Chris.
It looks very calm as well. That's a big difference when you're playing in these TV events. You've got to look calm. Don't let your opponent know that the pressure's getting to you.
30 seconds.
We see a lot of the players shaking the head, banging the cue, and that only gives the opponents extra belief.
Scotland finished second to England after the round-robin stages. And after the playoffs, Ireland finished third. So there was never a lot in it between these two teams. And again, still in a position from which you'd expect him to win.
Just at first glance here, I think Dermot has actually been a snooker player, or he is a snooker player, just by his cue action. He's got a very nice cue action. Just got to make sure he leaves himself on both reds on this shot. Again, leaving himself two opportunities.
30 seconds.
Just taking a little extra time. He wants to be so assured of what he's doing. He's overhit this slightly. Just wants to make sure and leave that last red on. Just has to roll this in.
Again, we see him playing for both reds there on one shot, giving himself the best opportunity.
But he'd like to have been straighter on this red, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he's going away from the ready. I think he could actually drag it in. He might just be able to hold for the other red. There we see.
Just slightly overhit. And now it looks like he's going to be taking the cue ball into the yellow on the cushion. And he's got to stay the right-hand side of the table for the black. A lot can go wrong here.
That's right, he's leaving it to a little bit of luck here. The red isn't the hardest shot in the world, but it's the control of the white ball to get on the black.
Just can't be easy enough. Dermot Armstrong looking to take Ireland 5-2 in front. Well, as I said, he just started to make things a little tougher and tougher with each shot. And as easy as they may have looked, That red, everything but disappearing off the playing surface.
Like you said, Jim, you were a bit frightened of hitting the yellow. Wasn't sure where the white was going to go. But he's still in a good position here. He's kept the pressure on. And Phil Craig has got to play a nice containing shot here, or he's lost the frame.
Well, certainly, but that red looks to be blocking the top right-hand corner now. And so a little bit of a insurance policy as far as Dermot Armstrong is concerned. The yellow on the right-hand side cushion creates a problem.
Seconds.
Trying to buy himself 2 visits. And with the new cloth, this is going to be a difficult escape. These cushions slide. If I would, he's got the side cushion to escape here. And you know something, Chris? If he was going to miss this, be playing off the side cushion and ideally to come down towards the red. But I can tell you, if he misses this, he's going to miss it top side, or is he playing the intentional foul?
I think he's going to play the deliberate foul and leave the white on the bottom cushion here. It's a risky shot.
Foul. 2 visits.
That's a great shot if it doesn't pop the red. Great shot there from Dermot, keeping the pressure on.
Knowing that red is guarding the pocket.
Very impressed with Dermot here, holding his nerve, keeping himself composed.
He just had a quick look at his teammates, possibly looking for seals of approval and the nodding of a head.
Well, Paul Noonan of the Irish team there on the right. Doesn't look as though he wants to be there. And again we see Phil bring the yellow away, but unfortunately knocking it straight back to where it was.
And now once again, will he be forced to try and buy himself the second visit, or does he remove a few of the yellows and go after the win?
Well, sooner or later he's going to have to go have a go at these yellows. And he's only got one that's tied up here, and he's got 5 red yellows that he can bring into play to knock the bad yellow away.
Chris, the yellow you're talking about is nearest the top right corner. That's the only problem yellow. Still has to be developed. He could drop onto it. He's got a little bit of room.
I think he could cut the yellow in the centre bag now and knock it away. I don't think he's looked at that though.
Well, he's got an angle here to play that yellow in the other center and possibly dislodge it, but again, risky business.
Again, we're seeing Phil potting the yellows, and the more he pots, the harder it's going to get on the last yellow on the side cushion.
Yes, and he's got his second visit in, so he can't afford to miss anymore.
Seconds.
Well, that was the shot I thought he'd play. If he could have contacted that yellow a little bit more on the right-hand side, Chris. Now, he's in big trouble.
But again, he's potted another yellow. The yellow's still safe. Just putting himself under more and more pressure. The longer he leaves that yellow tied up, the harder it's going to get.
And he can't really lay a snooker on Dermot Armstrong from this position. Not easily, anyway. So he's almost forced into taking this yellow.
Come on, Dermot.
Well, look at this. Wow. I'll say, there's a lucky man, the smile on his face.
We saw Phil get down on the shot there, didn't put his head on the cue, jumped up very quickly, and that's the reason why he's missed.
Now, what does Dermot Armstrong have to do here?
30 seconds.
But a very content Phil Craig sits in his chair. 4-2 the scoreline.
I think we'll see Dermot play the black over to the red here, keeping the pressure on. It's such a hard ball to get at, to pot out of a snooker. If you can get the black next to the red, he is a massive favourite.
Foul. 2 visits.
Well, the only problem here is he's got a chance to get both balls into play with one shot. I would have tried to keep that black a little further from the yellow, played it into that area.
That's right, he's given him a chance to bring both balls away here in one shot, leaving himself the other 3 yellows in the open with an extra visit.
He'll take this yellow first, and then he'll play yellow and black away, I would think. You know, I'd have left the cue ball at the top of the table, Chris.
That's right, I thought he'd have put the white on the top cushion. That way it's impossible to pot the red, bringing both balls away. And again, we see him potting another ball. And the longer he leaves it, the harder it's going to get.
You should be applying for the England captaincy. Well, that's a bonus. That is a bonus. He's still got 2 visits maintained by that fluked yellow. And that should spell disaster as far as this frame is concerned for Dermot Armstrong.
There we see Phil putting his hand up, giving apology. Just look at him, he's shaking like mad there.
He's going to be shaking all the way to the bank after this frame, though. Still passes. And remember, he's still got 2 visits. In or over the pocket. In it is! Phil Craig, the captain for Scotland, pulls one more back. They've won the last 2. 4-3, Ireland over Scotland.
A great performance from the Scottish captain. Scotland now trailing by 1 frame. Joe, it could easily have been at least 6-1 to Ireland, surely.
I think it's been an amazing first 7 frames. We predicted it would be close, but we didn't believe that we'd finish up being close the manner it has happened. You know, we've seen missed opportunities due to pressure, due to the pressures of playing in a final, and we've seen some luck of the Irish and some luck of the Scottish as well.
Who are the players that have really stood out for you?
Well, Tony Holgate's game was inspirational.
Yeah.
We mentioned him at the start. John, he was really good in getting the Irish team off to a good, steady start.
And now it's going to be down to big John McMahon up against Kevin McCallum. 5-4 now. McMahon faces the deficit. He'll be breaking off. It's a race to 8. We're at the business end of this semifinal. Ball down off the break.
Red ball potted.
Just look at the reds there, Jim. Situated perfect. We'll see John taking reds. Great break there. Controlled the white well.
Red ball's in play.
Pointing the red into the left-hand centre. Now he's got a great chance to put another frame on the board for Ireland.
And stop the rot. From 4-1 up, they've somehow contrived to lose 5 in a row.
30
4 in a row to
seconds.
find themselves 5-4 down.
He's a solid player, is John. Don't think anything phases him. Been around for a long time, played for Ireland for about 5 or 6 years.
Yes, Chris, he won his opening frame as well. He's playing a different opponent this time. And the fellow that he's playing, Kevin McCallum, actually won his opening match. So one of these is going to maintain a perfect record.
See, Johnny's one of the only players who doesn't put his head on his cue when he's queuing up. Most of the players put the chin on the cue. John seems to just get down, stands perfect, just gets down and pots the balls.
A little bit more like an American pool player.
That's right.
And you see a lot of the chins on the cues simply from a snooker background.
That's the way, Johnny.
So we'll see John try and get him the red in the left-hand corner here.
He certainly doesn't look nervous, does he?
Very
Cool.
impressed with John here.
Away, Johnny. Shot, Johnny. Come on.
Choice of reds.
I think I personally would rather play the right-hand red now. Leaves a better angle for your last red to get on the black.
The only problem is if he overhits it, he could end up snookering himself, and I think that's the reason he's taken this one, Chris. A little sign of nerves, but one good positional shot. And he doesn't want to be straight on this red. I don't know whether that black passes into the middle pocket or not.
He's landed a little bit straight there, Jim.
Well, there you can see that's going to be the pocket of choice for the black. So he's just going to have to follow through with this red.
Yes, Johnny. Come on.
Great performance this by John. Taking his opportunity well. Just one more ball to put another frame on the board for Ireland.
A lot of pressure on this black. It goes without saying. So much so that John McMahon has to wipe those sweaty palms.
There we see Tony Holgate in the back, biting his fingernails. We don't see that too often.
30 seconds.
Tons of pressure on this. And he's got it. What a shot from John McMahon. Finally, Ireland put one more back on their side of the score sheet. Heating up here in Blackpool, 5-5.
So my man enjoyed that one. They were 4-1 up, 5-4 down. They've levelled. Brilliant match.
It's tight. It's living up to
You
its
said it was
prediction.
going to be, didn't you?
But we've seen quite a performance by John McMahon. He was under pressure there. Scotland hit the front for the first time, and he's had to pull it back from him. And what about the luck of Steve Munro?
Well, and Robert Brady, the Irish captain, he's had a torrid time, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He could have won both of his frames, couldn't he?
But getting back to Steve Munro, he's probably the best performed player at these, one of the best performed players at these championships. Looking down the barrel to lose both and handed to him on a plate.
Whereas Tony Holgate, can he take Ireland back into the lead? Remember, they were 4-1 up. It's 5-5. A classic match. Back to you, Jim.
Well, why would we have expected it any different? It was one frame that separated these two valiant teams in the round-robin stages. No reason to think it would be any different in the semifinals.
What a break there. Crunch the balls there. Putting full power into the break. Controlling the white. Perfect. Putting two balls off the break.
Red ball's in play.
I think we'll see reds here.
Young Gary Brown up against the mainstay on the Irish side, Tony Holgate. And this would be a huge frame for Scotland to steal.
To be honest, Jim, I don't know. I can't really see a mistake creeping in here. All the reds are quite near pockets.
Well, Tony Holgate, we talked about in the first session, won 28 of 36 frames in the round-robin stages, but you don't score many when you're sat in your chair. And everything in the open. The one nearest the left center pocket could pose a little bit of a problem. But again, everything potable. And for Tony Holgate, if he does get to the table, the yellow nearest the right center isn't going to be easy either.
30
But Tony
seconds.
wants a chance desperately. And Gary Brown is going to do his very best to plant Tony Holgate in that chair. And that was a confident shot, Chris.
That's right, Jim. There we saw Gary take the long red screw back, kept his chin on the cue and kept very still. That's the reason that ball went in. Just watch his chin, doesn't even move.
Well, just when Scotland needed a performance, this man was called to the fore. Another good shot from Gary Brown. 5-5. Brown looking to put them one ahead, and he won't do it with a shot like that. Look at this.
Just look at the Scottish team there. Heads in their hands. They can't believe Gary's played that shot.
Totally misjudged it. I think he thought he was going to flick it on the way down, Chris. He must have. Because the pace that he played that, he was never going to be moving the yellow.
Yes, I think we can safely say that's the worst shot
30
Gary's played in this tournament.
And totally unexpected. And unless he flukes this, Tony Holgate will be getting to the table with 2 visits.
Tony's at the table now, 2 visits. Can't really see him doing anything wrong here. There, see Gary just missing the black by an inch or 2.
And a disgusted Gary Brown departed the table there. I think, if nothing else, resigning himself to the fact that nothing short of a miracle is going to bring him back.
30
Holgate,
seconds.
former World Championship runner-up.
Tony looking for an angle here to probably bring the yellow off the right-hand side cushion, or he could drop onto it onto the right-hand corner pocket.
He's just asked for either the cue ball or the object ball to be cleaned, has he? Or
I think it's gone. Right.
or did he detect some?
That's his wallet.
Well, possibly a fly that distracted Tony, and that one yellow nearest the center pocket, the right center. Got a feeling that if Tony's going to use his second visit, it's going to be coming right here, and that's if this doesn't go in. If it goes in, no problems.
I think this match has been all about the missed chances rather than the taken chances. Anybody from the England team watching this will be very happy.
They certainly won't feel intimidated by what they've seen, that's for certain. Good shot from Tony Holgate there, and now it looks like he won't even need that second visit. A fast pace around the table. The basher looking to capitalize on Gary Brown's mistake.
Perfectly played there. Just drop the yellow now in the right-hand corner, the black in the left-hand corner.
And this black to restore a lead, albeit by the narrowest of margins, 6-5 Ireland, and Holgate can dance about that performance. Yes, Ireland back in front, 6-5 in the race to 8. High fives all around for the basher. The baton has been
12
passed.
frames, item to break, leading by
Gavin
6
Cleary
frames.
from Ireland now will carry it up against Scotland's Barry Calder. Barry Calder, the reserve in the first session, so we haven't seen him. And a ball down in the middle.
Come on, oh, Gavin. Come on, Gavin.
Red ball positive.
Great break there. Yellow kicking off the white into the right hand centre pocket. Good choice of reds or yellows here. They're all in their open. Just personal preference from now.
Come on, this fellow played the first session. Barry Calder. They've got the wrong name here.
Red ball's in play.
That's right. Well, this is. Gavin Cleary right now in control.
You see Gavin's back arm there shaking.
We remember watching Gavin in the first session, Chris, and his head was very shaky, wasn't it? In fact, he won his first session match against Raymond Mowat. So he's already slotted 1 point on the Irish score sheet.
Looks very solid, does Gavin.
30 seconds.
Even though he's nervous, he's got a nice cue action which keeps him in good stead under pressure.
We get our first look at Barry Calder.
Just look how fast he jumped up off the cue there. Sign of nerves there.
Got every reason to be nervous. So much pressure out there. You talked about it's been a match more of what's been missed than what's been made, and that's simply down to big-time pressure. Barry Calder at the table now. As I said, he was the
30
reserve,
seconds.
called into play in the second session. Now, how nervous must he be? It's a best of 15. 7 were played into the first session. And as it's a best of 15, 8 are all called into play for session 2. A difficult starting yellow for Barry. Now you see Gavin Cleary seize that pocket.
Great shot there from Gavin, taking control of this frame. Putting Barry under a lot of pressure. He's only had one visit to the table, let's not forget. Most of the other players have been at the table a few times. Can't really see what he's going to do from this position.
30 seconds.
Either way, Chris, this is going to be a scrappy frame. So many balls have to be developed. And run out of position with the cue ball.
Time out.
So I doubt there will be an attacking shot to come from Barry Calder. But not a touching ball, as you can see.
Thirty seconds.
Just keeping that cue ball on the side cushion to.
We'll just see Gary bring his bad reds out here. Just bring him out into the opening.
Well, he tried to get that red into the open. Certainly containment was one of the thoughts in Gavin Cleary's mind.
Seconds.
Center stage here in Blackpool. The second semi-final of the Embassy World Team Championships. Scotland versus Ireland. The winner to face England in the final.
Great shot there from Barry. Struck it clean into the top right-hand pocket. Couldn't really do anything, had to take the shot on. Now he's giving himself a good chance, maybe doubling the yellow along the cushion, off the red, to bring the yellow that's tied up into play. And this is the only chance he can get to win this frame.
Well, that's not helped him.
Now he's back in the same position as he was 5 minutes ago. 2 yellows there, with 2 reds in the way.
(6-5), the scoreline in favor of Ireland. Best of 15, first team to 8. And Ireland nearing the finish line. They won't be too terribly disappointed that didn't drop. He's still in complete control.
That's right, it's a great shot there from Gavin.
Another look at it. But at some stage, Chris, he's going to have to take the bull by the horns here and go for the finish line.
Seconds.
Scotland's Barry Calder has a lot of work to do in this frame to try and turn it around.
Moved a lot then on that shot. You saw the cue go off to the right there. He's very nervous. Just watch the cue go off to the right after it's the ball. There it goes.
Totally enthralled in this match. There's so many
30 seconds.
twists and turns that have already materialized. Difficult to predict a winner.
We could see this match going all the way. Both teams look very nervous now, getting towards the business end. Place in the final to play England. Who's it going to be?
Good shot. No applause because everyone knows there's still so much to be done.
Potted 2 yellows there, but what can he do? There's 2 yellows that are tied up, the black's tied up. And to be honest with you, from here, he needs a miracle.
Well, we've seen a couple miracles already in this match that have manifested themselves more in the way of
seconds.
missed opportunities. Certainly when they were least expected. This is the big chance right now for Gavin Cleary. Everything there. And you can see what Barry Calder was trying to do. Develop that difficult yellow and knock it away from the reds.
But again, we see him leaving these last 2 balls, the hardest 2 balls to last. And he can't afford to do it at this stage. He must get rid of them early. Gavin just 5 balls away now from taking Ireland into a 7-5 lead.
This will show whether he's confident or not. By removing this red, he knows he's leaving the game on. And that wasn't his best positional effort. And taking that red away from the corner, Chris. He's opened the pocket up now for that yellow.
This is just nerves getting out of these players now. Starting to get into the head. Place in the final. There's a good shot there from Gavin, but he's given him a chance of a double. Be very happy to have a shot at yellow here from the position he was in.
Still very edgy stuff. Barry Calder at the table.
30 seconds.
And usually so much indecision is also a sign of how nervy a player's feeling.
It's close.
It's very close. What a shot. One more good positional shot from this last yellow to the black. Another look at this one. Never looked out.
That shot's all come from Gavin Cleary making a terrible mistake on the red.
Still so much walking around the table. A steady stroke here and clear those two
30
reds.
seconds.
Where's the white? Where's the white ball?
That was overhit by about 3 feet.
Yes, he's very nervous. He's Barry. You can see the cue moving on every shot. But at least he's got a shot at the black now.
You just couldn't see a quick finish in this frame. Neither one of them
30 seconds.
looked to be vaulting over the finish line. And again,
30 seconds remaining.
yes, Barry Calder doing nothing in a hurry. Tense moments.
Treble. It's close.
Very close. He's fluked it. And Barry Calder, his hand, and he's a delighted man, as are the Scottish side. The reserve pulls one out of the fire. 6-6. Scotland versus Ireland.
Come on, Brendan.
Well, the cushions came to the aid of Barry Calder. Firstly here with a great double on that yellow. Lost the cue ball on that one. And secondly, watch this. Two side cushions and into the middle pocket. And he says, well, what else could happen?
I think he should take up darts with all the doubles and trebles that he got there.
And now, 6-6.
13th frame.
Everybody on the edge of their seats, and Captain Craig in for Scotland, and he'll be opposing Brendan McDonagh. Both players enjoying different fates in the opening session. Craig a winner, McDonagh a loser. Finally poised this semi-final. Now, basically a 2 out of 3 for a place in the final.
Reds situated very nice here. So we'll see Craig nominate Reds.
Phil Craig
Yellow ball's in play.
ended up winning his first frame
30
almost
seconds.
by concession, didn't he? Good confident pot on the yellow there.
Good confident pot, Jim, but what has he played for? He's played it as a shot to nothing by the look there. He's got a double on the yellow.
Well, he pretty much won his first frame, or should I say his opponent lost it. Dermot Armstrong in the first session. But it never really says how, does it, Chris? Just who?
Oh, this game's presenting a lot of chances here. And there we see another one now for the Irish team. Another great chance.
He's covered up the black with the yellow. That might be his only saving grace.
Raymond looked very nervous so in the first frame. Just wondered if he's gathered his thoughts, calmed himself down, and play his A game. He's got very long stances, Brendan. Could see him covering the bottom corner, bottom left-hand corner here, trying to take control of the frame.
You know, just looking at the playing order, if it should go to a one-frame decider, Ireland's reserve is called in to play it. Has not played yet, and if it goes 7-7, I believe it's that man right there in the center of your picture will be called in. Actually, it's the one nearest our camera, sorry. Paul Noonan will be called in to play if it goes 7-7.
There we see Paul just looking around. I don't think he wants it to go to 7-all.
I know one thing, Chris. We may have to have St. John's ambulance in attendance if it does.
Thirty seconds.
Does this match mean anything? Ask that man. The Irish captain, Robert Brady.
Foul.
That's a weird shot there, what Craig's played. He's given 2 visits, really.
Come on, Brendan.
Brendan could even take the outside red, opening all the other balls up, giving himself every opportunity. Great shot there.
A little unlucky. Even though the red went in, he's nudged the yellow in front of the other red, bottom left. He's got 2 visits, remember.
There we see him pot the red off the yellow, trying to bring the black into play. Unfortunate not to bring the other red into play. But he could pot the red in the centre bag here and play the same shot off the cushion first.
30 seconds.
No, decided to use his 2 shots on his final red. Could be a wise decision.
Yes, the black looks available bottom left. And if this red passes, the bottom right corner as we look, I don't know whether he can get on it, but it does pass.
I think I'd be using my 2 here, Jim.
He's definitely using his 2 here, Chris.
Perfect there, just play the red off the cushion, cannon the yellow to the bottom cushion, and he's in perfect position.
Yes, and it wouldn't hurt him if he freed the pocket even more so for that black next. Just like that. Now, does he have a little angle to be able to get that cue ball towards the center of the table for the black into the same pocket? Second visit in play.
A lot more confident play here from Brendan. Got down, potted the balls. Unlike the last frame where he looked very nervous. Looks as though he's going to win this frame.
Time running.
Great shot there.
They're happy. What a performance this. A little bit of a miscalculation from Phil Craig, and it's going to come back to haunt him. Brendan McDonough needs this to go 7-6. And now it's down to Mike Clark from Scotland up against Dermot Armstrong. Both players losing their first frames in round 1.
14th frame, Ireland to break, leading by 7 frames to 6.
But hasn't it heated up? So much at stake. So much pride, both personal and national. Here we go. Nothing down for Dermot Armstrong, so Mike Clark in with the first look. Another look at this break off, Chris. Didn't really hit those with a lot of conviction. Mind you, balls did everything except go into that center pocket.
30 seconds.
Yeah, the balls are tied up here a little bit. I can't really see Mike clearing up in one visit.
Yellow ball's in play.
Now all of a sudden, the Reds look favourite. More Reds in the open than the Yellows. Just from that one shot.
Don't know if he intended off the cushion. I think he was trying to dolly that yellow down to guard the top right corner. Another look at it. Just flicked it on the way down and then bumped it away. So this is a chance, really. A slim chance for Dermot Armstrong to take control of this. What
30
Ireland
seconds.
hopes will be the last frame played here in this semi-final.
That's all you can ask for in these situations. There we see Lisa Quick, former ladies world champion, with the England ladies behind watching closely.
There's so much support out here. Very unpretentious, the players. They come out and support their teams, individuals. There's a lot of camaraderie too. You see that around the venue, even when the matches aren't taking place. The bar's never a bad place to be here, Chris.
No, that's right. Everybody's friendly around.
30
All chat
seconds.
with each other. No enemies. This is all you can ask for in this situation, is one chance. Because sometimes you just don't get that one chance.
Intended the pot there. It's got to be harder watching these matches now, certainly, than it would be playing.
Some of these players here in the Irish team have never been in this situation before. They've never faced this kind of pressure.
Well, I've got a feeling that the man at the table is one of them, Dermot Armstrong. And if he wins, he's going to be bringing another one to the table
30
that I'm quite
seconds.
certain has never been in that type of a pressure cooker. The reserve Paul Noonan. But Mike Clark has to try and force that. If Clark can secure this frame, then you're going to be looking at two would-be heroes coming out at 7-7.
Thirty seconds.
There we hear the 30-second call. Just putting Mike off a little bit there, but the referee does have to call it. He has no option.
Well, this is going to change the complexion of this frame. That black has just gone in front of the yellow and the red. Just flick the red and knock the black into play. And with so much at stake, neither player willing to take a risk.
Could see Mike playing the yellow,
30
doubling it up the
seconds.
table here. Great shot there from Mike. But now he gives Dermot a great chance here to bring his two reds away from the yellow by the black. And he's a massive favourite if he plays that shot. He could even play the double across in off the red.
30 seconds.
Well, you know, he's looking at it, Chris. He's looked at it a couple times already. Both reds can come into the open here.
Well, it's a shot to nothing really, Jim, because the yellow's not going to move off the side cushion. He's got a yellow that's tied up at the right and top pocket.
Well, he's got one into the open. Quite possibly he wants to do it one at a time.
Not a bad shot there. But I think we'll see that Mike's going to be snookered after this shot.
Another look, bridging right over that black. And as you said, Chris, he's brought that yellow into play, but he may not fancy his next visit.
Is he looking at playing the plant down the
30
cushion, full
seconds.
length of the table?
Well, he's got the plant.
Give himself a great opportunity here to take Ireland into the final. Just one red that's tied up. Every other ball's in the open.
Another look at this shot. Nicely played. Chris, if he can get that red in the open sooner rather than later, you just feel that
30
Ireland will
seconds.
be on the doorstep of a huge win.
Well, he's got a chance to double it. He can bring it out. He's got plenty of options here. It's a poor shot there. But I think we'll see him maybe drop the red over the pocket by the black, cover the pocket, or will he go for the throat and go for game?
He's still got protection with that black guarding the pocket for at least one yellow.
Gone to cover the pocket. Great shot there. There we see him just pushing the red next to the black, killing the frame. And now Mike Clark is in a lot of trouble.
Now Mike with the unenviable task of trying to turn the tables here on Dermot Armstrong. And that doesn't hurt him getting one of his awkward yellows into play.
It's not a bad shot, that. Putting the red on the side cushion. Forcing Dermot to have a go. I think we'll just see Dermot bring the red away here from the yellow on the left-hand side of the table. We can't watch. Just look at Brendan there. He doesn't want to watch this game. He's just been out there and he knows what the pressure's like, and there's even more pressure now because they're getting closer to the line. Well, that's a poor shot there. He's just put two yellows on the side cushion there. Giving Mike a great chance to drop the red in near the black and put him in trouble. Giving him two visits, but what can he do?
Yes, another look. Not exactly sure what Dermot Armstrong was trying there. I know that good chance a few of the other Irish players on his team are wondering the same thing.
30 seconds.
There we hear the 30-second call from Jimmy, the referee. Come all the way from Australia to referee.
Yes, what a likable sort he is. James Mills from Australia.
Very proud man to be referee at the World Championships. Spoke to him a few days ago. and this is his ambition.
Dermot Armstrong has manufactured a position where he's got to put a lot of thought into it. He's still got that pocket. He owns it by virtue of the red covering the black and yellow, but he certainly couldn't have wanted to put that other red over there in an awkward
30
position.
seconds.
He's going to have to bring these reds away from the side cushion sooner or later.
Yeah, and really, Chris, it just shows you what a wasted shot the one previous was.
That's right, that red what he's just brought off the cushion there was the one he just put on the cushion 5 minutes ago.
The pressure obviously forcing some errors in thought. And really, as Mike Clark looks at that yellow top right,
30 seconds.
Now Mike's going to try and put the yellow in front of the red here. This is a 2 in 10 shot.
very important visit this. This shot could tell a tale.
If he gets this yellow in front of the red, it's a frame winner, and it's very close. I think he's potted it. How unlucky is that?
That's unbelievable that that ball would pass there. He couldn't really have hit that a lot better than he did.
If this yellow stayed over the pocket there, that was a frame winner. It's very, very unlucky to pot that ball. And now I can't see no way back for Mike. He's potted 5 of his yellows, 2 yellows left. The black's
30
tied up,
seconds.
one of the yellows is tied up. What can he do?
He's just playing it into an area where hopefully he can put it into the jaws of the pocket on his next visit. And this is where it does turn into a chess game. If Dermot Armstrong can foresee this, it's down to him not to leave Mike Clark that option to wedge that yellow into that corner pocket in front of that red. This is where it gets very tactical, Chris.
Yes, this is where you have to think 2 shots in front, what your opponent's going to
30
do
seconds.
and what you're going to do. Just got to make sure that it doesn't leave the yellow that's in the open onto the bottom left-hand corner where the black is.
You know, Chris, I've played most of the Q Sport disciplines that you have, and I can't think of another game where you've got to think what your opponent's going to do. You've got to worry what he's going to do. In snooker, in American pool, if you will, you just worry about your own game.
Now that's a poor shot there, because if he gets a yellow over the pocket now, he's got total control of the game. There we see him taking a big breath. That's a terrible shot there from Dermot. He's feeling the pressure.
And this is the big shot again for Mike Clark. If he
30
can
seconds.
snake that yellow in front of that red, he'll have completely turned the tables on Dermot Armstrong. I think he tried to go
Has
in
he
off
knocked the
red.
yellow out?
Well, that is cruel. I think he tried to play that off the red, Chris. He had to.
Yeah, he's tried to pot the yellow off the red there. But I don't think there was any value in potting it off the red. I don't think the yellow went past the black.
But for that cue ball to somehow find a path into that corner pocket is a cruel twist of fate for Mike Clark and Scotland. 2 visits.
I don't think it's over yet though, Jim. I think there's a little bit more play in this frame, even though he's got 2 visits.
Come on, let's have it. Come on, bring this home, son.
I know one thing. If Dermot Armstrong loosens the 2 reds up next to the black, he'll have made his intentions crystal clear.
That's right, Jim. But will he land on one when he brings these 2
30
out?
seconds.
There we see, he hasn't landed on one.
The beauty for him is that he's knocked the yellow into a rather safe position. So the urgent's not quite what it would be if that yellow was in the open.
This means so much to the Irish team. Pool's a big sport in Ireland. They would love to win this
30
title.
seconds.
Just safe. Trying to buy himself a little better opportunity.
That's a fair shot, Jim, but again, he's giving him a chance to bring the yellow out in the open
And put himself under more pressure.
and give himself another chance.
Well, if that's what he does, then you know that every ball
30 seconds.
that Dermot Armstrong looks at, it'll be like shooting basketballs into Mouse's ear holes. He's content with knowing he's got to make life difficult for Dermot. And this, for me, Chris, has to easily be the longest frame of this entire match, nearing 20 minutes in duration. It'll certainly be well over 20 minutes by the time an outcome is forthcoming. At what point, Chris, do you just give it the heave-ho?
30 seconds.
Well, I think he'll just roll up to this and bring the yellow in the open again. Probably snooker him now. Will Dermot.
I think you can bet your house on that.
How many chances do these players need?
One thing about it, in playing the snooker here, Dermot Armstrong will have all four reds in the open.
30 seconds.
All he wants to do is nudge that bottom one into the open, leave the cue ball in behind the other red, and everything will be potable.
He's just got to be careful that it doesn't leave him off the side cush out of the snooker for the yellow. That's a great shot there.
Great shot.
If he left the white on the bottom cushion there, Mike could have just come off the side cushion, snookered him behind the yellow, but he's played a wise shot there. Good thought, knowing that if he does try and snooker him, he's got the red at the top of the table.
Time running.
Sooner or later, he's going to have a go at this yellow. Give it a heave-ho. It's another great shot, but again, will Dermot go for the frame or will he lay another snooker? A lot of negative play coming into play now.
We've seen so much in the way of evidence.
Off the red there. But I don't think there was any value in putting it off the red. I don't think the yellow went past the black.
But for that cue ball to somehow find a path into that corner pocket is a cruel twist of fate for Mike Clark and Scotland. 2 visits.
I don't think it's over yet though, Jim. I think there's a little bit more play in this frame, even though he's got 2 visits.
Come on, let's have it. Come on, bring this home, son.
I know one thing, if Dermot Armstrong loosens the 2 reds up next to the black, he'll have made his intentions crystal clear.
That's right, Jim. But will he land on one when he brings these 2 out?
30 seconds.
There we see, he hasn't landed on one.
The beauty for him is that he's knocked the yellow into a rather safe position. So the urgent's not quite what it would be if that yellow was in the open.
This means so much to the Irish team. Pool's a big sport in Ireland. They would love to win this
30
title.
seconds.
Just safe. Trying to buy himself a little better opportunity.
That's a fair shot, Jim, but again, he's giving him a chance to bring the yellow out in the open
And put himself under more pressure.
and give himself another chance.
Well, if that's what he does, then you know that every ball
30 seconds.
that Dermot Armstrong looks at, it'll be like shooting basketballs into Mouse's ear holes. He's content with knowing he's got to make life difficult for Dermot. And this, for me, Chris, has to easily be the longest frame of this entire match, nearing 20 minutes in duration. It'll certainly be well over 20 minutes by the time an outcome is forthcoming. At what point, Chris, do you just give it the heave-ho?
30 seconds.
Well, I think he'll just roll up to this and bring the yellow in the open again. Probably snooker him now. Will Dermot.
I think you can bet your house on that.
How many chances do these players need?
One thing about it, in playing the snooker here, Dermot Armstrong will have all 4 reds in the open.
30 seconds.
All right, Diamond Dogs. Look at him.
All he wants to do is nudge that bottom one into the open, leave the cue ball in behind the other red, and everything will be potable.
He's just got to be careful that it doesn't leave him off the side cush out of the snooker for the yellow. That's a great shot there.
Great shot.
If he left the white on the bottom cushion there, Mike could have just come off the side cushion, snookered him behind the yellow, but he's played a wise shot there. Good thought, knowing that if he does try and snooker him, he's got the red at the top of the table.
Time running.
Sooner or later, he's going to have a go at this yellow. Give it a heave-ho. It's another great shot, but again, will Dermot go for the frame or will he lay another snooker? A lot of negative play coming into play now.
We've seen so much in the way of evidence of how nervy this game can be in this match.
There we hear the Irish contingent saying great shot, but I'm not too sure it is. I think he may have left an edge on this yellow.
One player can do nothing but defend here,
30 seconds.
and the other waits for a chance to attack.
But he's got to have a go at the yellow, Jim. If he keeps rolling up to it, he's just going to keep getting snookered.
That would have been useful. That was the heave-ho we thought might come a couple shots ago.
Not too far away there, Jim. Great attempt. But he's put the pressure on now on Dermot. He's got to clear up here.
But so much pressure. I think it's safe to say you won't see anything done in a hurry here. Ireland have only been to the finals once, back in 1999.
He's got away with that one. He could have landed anywhere on the table, and how many times have we seen people snooker themselves behind one ball? It's all or nothing on this shot.
Looks like he's lining it up into the center, but Mike Clark, he's got the best seat in the house. He's not sat down. I don't think he can stand to sit down right now. Into the middle.
I'm not 100% sure this goes, Jim.
Yes, Thomas.
Yes, great shot there.
Will Dermot Armstrong be the man of the moment for Ireland? And he's beautifully on the black. I think they sense it. All he's got to do is roll this black down the cushion. It's there. Ireland through to the final. An 8-6 win. Dermot Armstrong provides the last finishing touches here, and Ireland, an 8-6 win over Scotland, through to the finals against England.
Tremendous scenes from the Irish team, booking their place in the final for the second time in history. My nerves are shot to pieces, Joe.
Mark, we said it was going to be close, but the prolonged pressure has just been exhausting.
We're going to show you the last 3 shots of Ireland just sewing up that win there. It was all a question of holding himself together, wasn't it? Great run into the middle.
Yeah.
But even this was missable.
After the shots that we've seen leading up to it, it certainly was, but at least he was able to string together 3 good shots to close the match.
And then the Irish team running onto the set. Lots of hugs, kisses. There could be a few beers in the bar tonight.
I think there'll be quite a few. They really relish a chance in the final against England.
Realistically, what chance have they got?
Well, on this form you would think not too much, but you never know in the final. Once they get out there, the adrenaline gets flowing, and that Irish spirit is there, and they really get the crowd behind them. You never know.
Absolutely. It's been a tremendous match. I only hope that their singing is slightly better than their pool. From all of us here in Blackpool, until next time, we'll see you again. Bye-bye.